All right, peoples. Let's talk about this goofy ass Quentin Miller for a second, okay? 10 bands. Classic. You know what I'm talking about, all right? So, our boy, Quentin Miller, was on Vlad TV recently talking about, Drake, obviously. Got Drake's name all up in his mouth. Then he was asked to clarify the whole Nas thing, and he didn't really give an answer. And this is where I'm checking out on Quentin Miller. Respectfully, man, I don't believe in perpetual victims. Real talk. Quentin Miller has had multiple opportunities to prove himself as a rapper, as an artist. He hasn't done it. I've never heard one dope song by Quentin Miller this entire time this guy has been out. Not one dope song he's ever released. He can't claim 10 bands. He can't claim Know Yourself. That's not his song. That's Drake's song. Drake performed that shit, made it an actual dope record. Anytime I've heard Quentin Miller, he's on some sleepy bullshit. And again, look, people get unlucky, things happen, bullshit occurs. I get all that. But my problem is this. You've been given multiple opportunities to be able to prove yourself, right? Multiple. Like, not even like somewhat. Like, you've had multiple chances. It's different when a person doesn't have a chance at all, right? But Quentin Miller has given, he's gotten the spotlight with Drake, and then it's like, okay, what music did you have? A lot of us went to listen to his music. We found out that it was trash, and obviously the Drake haters, they run it so bad for Drake, for Quentin Miller's music to be any good so they could talk about it, but they knew deep down that they couldn't really rest on Quentin Miller like that because his music was trash. And then now it's like this Nas thing, which, by the way, I don't give a fuck if he even wrote for Nas, because he wrote a garbage record probably for Nas. You know how I feel about Nas's, over 10 years of releases. There's decent songs here and there, but, all of this Hit Boy stuff to me is trash. Like, literally, it can all vanish and I wouldn't feel a ways about it. So if Quentin Miller worked on it, it's probably likely. It probably happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Quentin Miller wrote on that stuff, because those bars are light. Anybody that listens to Nas knows quality Nas bars and knows weak-ass Nas bars. So Nas probably was like, you know what, man? Like, I don't even care. Just... what do you have for me? Oh, okay, cool, whatever. Put some shit together. Everything about it is slapdash. I've said this before. People are only going to figure this out later in terms of how slapdash all those King's Disease albums are. Those are leftover beats. They're not crafted for Nas. Maybe some of them are. But a lot of them are just shit that's lying around. Nas had some pre-recorded verses, and they just slapped the shit together and put it out for the casuals that want to seem like they know rap or whatever. I don't like that shit. Shit's boring to me. But the point is this. Quentin Miller, stop it, okay? Perpetual victim ass. I can't buy this shit, man. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, when you listen to this dude, and this is the thing that's always bothered me about people like QM, and I don't know Quentin Miller personally, but let me just paint a personality profile here, okay? A lot of times people will look at someone maybe like myself who speaks confidently and they go, Tochi's so arrogant. But, I'm a sincere person. I'm honestly, I would like to think I'm not arrogant. And I really do like people, and I try to treat people with respect. People that know me, I think, would say this overall, right? Just because someone is confident does not mean that they are arrogant. Arrogance or, narcissistic to a point where it's like, dangerous or something like that. It's just confidence. You can be an introvert and be narcissistic as fuck. We have seen this with, obviously, we're talking about this, Idaho Killer or whatever. He was rapping, I guess, but I don't know if he was really out there like that, partying or whatever. He might have been on some introvert dweeb shit. And he still is a narcissist enough to take the lives of people he don't even know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can be introverted, not confident at all, and still be a raging narcissist, a raging arrogant motherfucker, right? And Quentin Miller honestly gives me those kind of vibes. Not serial killer stuff. I'm not saying that. I don't know. But it's that introverted, like, I don't respect you enough to even speak straight about any of this shit. I'm going to go on here, because obviously if you're not going to give a straight answer on your involvement with Nas or whatever, or Drake, then why are you even here, okay? It's not like anyone forced you to come up here. Well, you came up here for the clout. And this is what I'm talking about with someone like a Quentin Miller. They don't respect their viewers. They think their viewers are idiots. They think they're above their viewers. They think they're above their listeners, right? Even when they're all like, I was with Drake and I don't even know why this happened to me, right? On some quiet shit. Deep down, that motherfucker doesn't think that you're worth anything to him, right? And Drake probably saw that shit and cut his ass off. Smartly. I mean, like I said, Drake and his team, smart people. They probably was like, man, this nigga's a whole clout chaser and a narcissistic weirdo. We gotta cut his ass off and let him go. So, that's that. Not a fan. I think Quentin Miller's got to step his fucking game up if he's really serious about making some art that matters. Make one dope song, please. Okay? Because I just haven't heard it, honestly. Period. Now, let's back up a little bit to the interview I did with Jemini The Gifted One. Shout out to Gemini, my man. It was a phenomenal interview, actually, and I'm going to be dropping the full interview tomorrow, so you guys can look out for that. It's actually really funny. We had a great time talking, and I didn't really expect it to go as well. It went well, obviously, but Gemini was very candid and very, very animated, very interesting brother to talk to. So, yeah, we'll get into all of that. This is a guy who's definitely, he's a fan of the new shit. I mean, we even talked a little bit, not necessarily on camera, but just about other things. He loves Kendrick. He likes Kendrick and Cole. You know how I feel about Kendrick and Cole. So, again, these things are a matter of opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, it's good to get hip-hop perspectives, right? That's all this stuff is, right? And the more perspective you get, the more, I guess, informed your decisions are. One thing that, I don't know if we covered in our interview, but, he and I were talking about this, is how, like, there's such a desperation. I've covered this in my videos, but there is such a desperation from the youth to just shit on everything that is older. And deep down, obviously, we know that it's forced, right? Older people like myself and even older than me, we can tell that it's forced because it was never really like that for us. Like, when I grew up, I didn't shit on everything my parents made. You know what I'm saying? Like, or listened to, obviously. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, some of it that they liked, I probably wasn't into, and I probably never was, we'll never get into, honestly. But there's a lot of it that was dope as fuck. And that's kind of the thing. It's like, when you look at what made the 90s and the 80s so dope, is that those people were listening to what came before them and picking out the stuff they really liked and like making that as better as they could. And we don't really see that in the new generation, and that's why we shit on the new generation, because we don't see that level of care and that level of effort, right? It's just a fact, man. It's not like people are saying this to hate. It's just we don't see that passion for the older shit reconfigured in a way that really sort of respects that older thing that you claim to love, right? Now there's certain artists, whatever, like, I'd say the Rockies and the Playboys of the world, the Pop Smokes, that I really like. I think on some level they do at least a little bit of their homework. You know what I'm saying? Where they do repurpose certain things I've that we all love about older records, right? So there's a little bit of that, but most of them don't, and that's kind of where they fall off, right? But shout out to Gemini anyway. Classic record, Brooklyn Kids. Go check out that Brooklyn Kids. Check out that Sunshine. He has a new single called Sunshine. Make sure you give that a listen. And follow Gemini. I put the IG in the description of the video, so go check that out, man. It's a lot of fun, honestly. We really chopped it up. And more. Hopefully more interviews coming, man. Reaching out to people, seeing what they can do. And yeah, much love to y'all, all right?